Hey y'all, greetings earthlings. I am Elle, I am daughter of source, and I am everything. Today I want to talk about Reiki centers, Reiki practitioners, and natural energy healers. Um, I want to talk about Reiki healers and natural energy healers because I mentioned them in my last video and I called them fake Reiki or something like that. I said, but everything I talk to y'all about is because of my own personal experience. Everything I say is because I experienced it myself. So if your experience wasn't the same as mine or you feel different, that's okay. But I'm giving y'all my own experiences with these things. Okay. Because I'm a healer, a natural energy healer, and I get my abilities from source. I went to a Reiki center a few years ago, about almost 5 years ago, maybe now. I went to a Reiki center thinking that I would meet people like me, and I could have a bond with people that were more like me. I needed people that were in my frequency, my vibration, people that knew about things that I knew about, people that I could have real conversations with, people that um are on a conscious level that I'm on. So I figure if I went to a Reiki center that I would find people like that, people that I could connect with, because I don't have too many people I really care to deal with in my life. So I went to this Reiki center. First of all, I found one that it says it teaches the natural Reiki, like from the original form of Reiki, not this modern Reiki stuff. There's a difference, I guess. So I only found one that said it teaches the original Reiki way and the procedures and all that. So I went there. Now I'm paying these people for these classes, but what I discover is that it's really all false. Like, um, first of all, the owner of the center, um, the moment she crossed the threshold and walked into the room with me, I knew something was off about her. Like, I had never met her before. I didn't know who she was. And I had been to the center before and I supposed to had a class with her, but she was unavailable. She was out of town or whatever. So I had a class with somebody else, which there's no coincidence in my life. So that was meant to happen. I wasn't meant to meet her that time. But the next time when I went, soon as that lady walked in the room with me, I knew she wasn't right. I knew it was something about that woman that was fraudulent. And I was just real thrown off by her. And when she came into the room, there was a Reiki master in the class who we were doing the class with. She was already in the room. And when this owner woman walked into the room, she said, she pointed at me, the other lady who was in the room with us already, not the owner, but the Reiki master teacher lady, or whoever. She pointed at me and told this owner lady that I'm the one that she had been telling her about. So obviously they had been discussing me, or she had been discussing me with this lady. I knew nothing about this. And this was when I came back, this was probably months later when I came back the second time, but she had been discussing me with the owner. And she just had like a little attitude. I always run into the people with the little attitudes and the little looks and all that when they encounter me, and I just basically ignore the shit. But I'll be like, damn, why every time I got to get the look and the little attitude and the little smirks and the little way they talk, all funny acting and shit. So she like, the lady tell the owner like, this the one I've been telling you about. And she like, and the owner like, oh really, and what's so special about her? Like, I'm like, damn, I am sitting right here like, what the fuck wrong with these people? Like, and so the teacher tell her like, she the one I was telling you I believe is a true star seed. And I'm like, they calling me star seeds and all this kind of shit. I'm like, here we go. So she like, the owner lady, she looking at me and she like, oh, so I bet you got a lot of gifts, a lot of skills, a lot of things you can do. I said, mm-hmm. Like I was reading her everything about her right then and there. Like, mm-hmm, it's a whole lot of shit I can do. So don't even come for me, like, cause you don't want to come for me, like, period. So, we have a little discussion or whatever. That's over. We do the class or whatever, whatever. But what I discovered is this lady has some kind of entity attached to her. She got some kind of entity attached to her, and she talks about this thing like it's a good thing, like it's a good thing to have, and it's a light being is what she calls it. And um when somebody else that was in there with us asked her this, what's this thing's name or what it's called, she said it's called Avatar, and it's a light being, and it tell her things, and it do this and it do that. Now the way she talked about this thing was like it was such a good thing, but I'm knowing this entity is not a good thing that's attached to her. And basically, her skills are not her skills. Whatever she's able to do up at that Reiki center is because of this thing that's attached to her. But she ain't gonna tell you that. Okay? She called this thing Avatar. She says it's a light being, and it's been attached to her for over 20, 30, probably 40 years. Cause this a older lady, and I believe she say this stuff happened to her when she was like 20 or in her teens or something. And she done wrote a book. Okay, she be writing these books. But let me tell y'all about this lady. These Reiki masters who giving y'all attunements and all this shit. Y'all better be real careful with them. Okay? Make sure you using your discernment, your intuition, your every source thing you got in you that's gonna tell you who good and who not. You better use it when you go to these Reiki places and all these type of centers and stuff like that, because all this stuff that they doing on y'all is spell work. Okay? So for all y'all who don't want nothing to do with what y'all call witches and spell work and rituals and uh all that kind of shit, spell cast, all that, that's all Reiki is. Okay? And I learned this from up there. The way they have to use all these symbols and use them in a certain way and in a certain order, and to activate these symbols and all of this to supposedly get source energy to use to heal you, to heal your chakras. Okay, they use a lot of tools. They use pendulums, they use crystals, they use those symbols, they get attunements, it's a whole bunch of sorcery is what it is. Those are not natural healers. Those are not natural energy healers from source. Anybody can learn Reiki because it's all magic and sorcery is what it is. That's what they're doing over you to get into your energy, to know these things about you And a lot of them don't even have the purpose of helping you. Their only purpose for doing all that magic and sorcery over you and your energy is to get into your energy, to get your knowledge, and to get things about you that they're going to use for their self to further themselves along in society. Like she writes books and she has this Reiki center and she sees herself as this healer who can tell people that can make other people masters or take their masters away from them if she say they ain't this and they ain't that. Now, supposedly this lady been running this place for almost 20 years because I probably went over the span of 2 or 3 years because I went back for different stuff. Like I had to know what was going on. And I went back for different things, paying them my money so that I could tell y'all what's really going on in these places. Okay. Now, I called this lady out on so much stuff that she was saying and doing in that place that one of the Reiki masters pulled me to the side one day and she told me that the whole 17, 18 years that that lady been running that place, not one person has ever called her out or confronted her about anything she has ever said or anything she ever taught them. So she said that I'm the first person that has ever called this lady out on the stuff that she be saying and the stuff that she be teaching. And she said she don't know what to do with you. She was telling me that the owner didn't know what to do with me because nobody had ever challenged her teachings. Nobody had ever called her out on the stuff that she was teaching. It was lies. It was fraudulent. Like, and I can't stand for that shit. Like, and I'm giving you my money and I'm coming in here and you got other people in here and you sitting in here and you teaching lies and I know the truth. I ain't read none of this stuff. Paying we was basically paying her to give us a booklet of printouts so that she could sit there and read us all these printouts like we kindergarten students or something. We can get these printouts, we can print this shit offline and read it to ourselves for free. That's what her Reiki teachings is. She do 2 or 3 classes with you to actually let you work on a client, you know what I'm saying? And she do a lot of meditation stuff. Get you do a lot of meditation stuff. She tell you all about her avatar and she tell you all about she got an implant supposedly from some aliens in her sleep. They implanted her with something in her leg. Now she tell you all about this avatar, and in the same class she'll tell you how it's so wrong and so bad to have attachments and they evil and they'll do this to you and how you doing this thing and that thing and you need to get rid of them and cut the cords and all this and that. But she talk about hers like it's the best thing ever happened to her. She never said nothing about getting rid of her attachment. She don't even call it an attachment, but that's exactly what it is. Like, how can you have an attachment and then tell everybody else they shouldn't have those kind of things and they got to get rid of them? Then she sits up there and tells you a story about she got an implant in her leg from an alien in her sleep where she was abducted or some kind of shit. She got this implant in her leg from some aliens and she want to show it off and yeah, it's still there and I still have the scar and when I woke up it looked like this and it looked like that and it's still there. And but then in the same class want to tell you that stuff is bad and it's evil and it's, but you got attachments and implants, but you telling everybody in here they shouldn't have none of that kind of stuff, but you very proud of yours the way you talk about them, very proud. And I'm just sitting there confused, like, what the fuck is going on in here? Then she gonna tell these people that Reiki and energy healing is not an ancient thing. That energy healing only came about in the 1920s when some Japanese man named Ryoko somebody went up on a mountain by himself and source supposedly gave him this healing power and told him how to heal people with energy. And then he came down off the mountain and charged people back in the 1920s. He charged people $10,000 a person to learn this supposed sacred Reiki, energy healing. But the word Reiki came from his name. His name Ryoko Reiki or some shit like that. Now, I'm sitting there like, hmm, you telling me there was no such thing as energy healing before this man went on the mountain in 1920. So let me make this make sense to myself. My grandmother was born in 1918. Okay, that's before 1920. She was born in 1918 and she was a healer. She didn't get nothing from no Japanese man that went up on the mountain. Her father, my great grandfather, back in the 1800s, was a healer. He was called a witch doctor because he could heal with energies. He was also called a root doctor because he knew how to go out in the woods and get the roots and the herbs and the flowers, and he could heal you that way too. That's my great grandfather, my grandmother's father in the 1800s was a natural healer. Y'all hear what I'm saying? They call him a witch doctor because that's what you call people who can do shit that you can't do that you don't understand. You just call them witches who know how to use the earth and nature and energy from source. You just call them witches. So he was called a witch doctor. He was also called a root doctor. Now, so now that's I know of my grandmother and my great grandfather, but I'm sure somebody before him was a healer, and somebody before them was a healer, and somebody before them was a healer. It's in my bloodline. We didn't need no man to go up on a mountain, a Japanese man. They always giving our credit to another race, either the white man or the Chinese or the Japanese or the Vietnamese or any of them. They always give our credit to someone else after they've stolen it. Okay? We've been doing this. We've been doing this since the beginning of the time. And it really ain't even about race now with me because I'm all of them. Right now in this lifetime, I'm white, black, Jamaican, Indian. I'm all that. I'm all of it. Black, white, Asian, and other one, Indian, Native American. Mm-hmm. My parents, my grandparents, my great grandparents, biracial with white, Indian, black, Indian. I'm everything. Physical world, I'm everything. Spiritual world, I'm everything. I am everything. Source is everything. I am everything. Everything I am. I'm a real deal healer. I don't have to do all that stuff. All that activating those symbols. I don't got to do that. I was so confused. Like, what are they doing? They got to do all this for some healing? They doing an awful lot for Reiki to imitate natural healers. I was doing this before I even heard about the word Reiki. I'm like, what is Reiki? That sounds like what I be doing. Let me go see if I can find somebody. Let me go to one of these centers and see who I could find like me. Like, I was so excited to go to this Reiki center and meet somebody like me. I met some good people, but they weren't like me. And they weren't gonna be like me if they only going by this falseness with all this lady talking about. She couldn't wait to get me up out of there. And I kept coming because I gave that lady my money. And I wanted to know what was going on so I could tell the truth about it. Those attunements, those attunements are so that they could go into your energy and get your information and use it for themselves to write their books and to make their videos and to make money off of you, to make money off of divine beings. You go there for help to find out what you want to know about yourself, and they find out about you and use it for their own benefit. Y'all have to be very, very, very careful with these people. I keep telling y'all, people are sent to get your information. The same way good people are drawn to your light and your goodness and your sourceness, so are the bad ones. And you got to get rid of all them bad ones out your energy so you can get all the good ones in there. You really have to use your intuition and your discernment. You have to have that discernment. You have to know who around you and what they're around you for. What do they want from you? What kind of information do they really want from you and why? It's really weird the lengths that these beings go to harm people like us over this stinking ass world that they got, that they made stinking ass. Earth ain't supposed to be like this. The sound of earth, that's why y'all God coming back to destroy it. That's why it's going all down, because of the sound. I haven't even taught y'all how y'all energies and y'all vibration and y'all frequency, it emits a sound. It emits a sound over the earth, and it's not the correct sound right now. But I'm going to tell y'all how to get the correct sound so that the whole earth can transcend or transform over to the new dimension, over to the new level, over to the next phase. That's what raising the vibration of the planet is about. You can raise your vibration and your frequency and get up out of here, but if you want the whole heaven on earth experience, y'all gonna have to change the sound of the planet. Y'all gonna have to get the planet back to its original sound and get on the correct frequency and the correct vibration to get the hell up out of here. That's the only thing gonna do it. Going to church and all them religions ain't getting you nowhere for the 100th time. It ain't getting you nowhere. You got to get that vibration, that frequency, that sound. You got to get that sound right. That's the only thing that matters. That frequency, that vibration, and that sound that it's gonna make is what's gonna get you up out of here. Be very careful of the people you allow to do things to you. If they are of source, they're not gonna need all that. They not gonna need attunements and all those gadgets and things and symbols and all of that. They gonna need they self and source. That's all I need. Sometimes I do a mantra. It's called Teyata Om. Anybody can look that up and find that it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a healing mantra to heal everything wrong with you, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Teyata Om. Yeah, I say that. I do that. And that's about it. And I use me and source energy to get the same results or better results than those using the reiki magic sorcery. That's what it is. Excuse me, y'all. That magic they using on y'all to get y'all information, to write their books with, to make their videos with. Like that one, it's a hypnotherapist, I think she is. And I've been hearing about her for years, and I cannot think of this lady name to save my life. But it's an old white lady who be hypnotizing the people, and she write books and she make videos, um, telling you about the star seeds and the light beings and when you die and all this and that. But she's getting this information from people that she's doing, um, that she's hypnotizing, and she's using the information that she's getting from them to further her own career. That's what they do. They use your information to make themselves famous and to write their books and do their videos and things and stuff like that. But all of these people are not for the right thing. All of them are not really trying to help you. A lot of them are really just trying to deceive you to get your information to further them in their careers and in their lives. They don't really give a damn about you. So that's why I had said fake Reiki and this and that. There are some people who really believe in that. And if you're a natural healer of source, you don't need that. You don't need the symbols. You don't need the attunements. You don't need all the gadgets. You don't need the tuning forks and the pendulums and the crystals and all that stuff. You don't need all that stuff. That's what you need when you're doing the sorcery, is all that stuff. I'm not saying crystals are bad because it, like I said in another video, every tool depends on the person using it. Are you using it for good or are you using it for bad? You might find you a good Reiki practitioner. I'm not saying they're all bad. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm speaking on my own personal experience. And from my own personal experience, I'm telling y'all to be careful. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying be extremely careful and be extremely knowledgeable about the people that you're letting deal with your energy. You want your stuff to stay high. You want it to stay on the correct frequency. You want to stay on the correct vibration. Don't let these people deceive you because they're very good at it. They're created for deception, the same as I'm created for truth. And that's just the truth of the stuff. Like they got all this other stuff going on in the world to take y'all attention off of what's really going on. And what's really going on is between physical and spiritual. The physical realm and the spiritual realm. Y'all don't even know y'all fighting shit because y'all can't see it or hear it. But I can. I know what's really going on. When I could look at you and not even see your human characteristics because all I see is what you really are. Like how many of y'all are old enough to know the movie The Gremlins? Those little creatures, you get them wet and they multiply. They call gremlins. I have looked at people in this physical 3D world and not even seeing their face or what they look like because I saw their gremlin. I saw that they're actually one of those beings inside. Where y'all think they be getting these movies and stuff from? Everything ain't made up. They just want y'all to believe it is. Those gremlin characters, I don't know if that's what they really call, but they exist and they walk this earth in these body suits, these skin suits, and I can see them. Think if you could see that when you look at somebody. You might think you was fucking crazy, but I be knowing what I'm looking at, and I know who to stay away from and shit like that. All right, I hope this helps somebody, and I love y'all. Namaste.